Pieces, too many pieces, heart after heart, competing, searching for something to complete them all. Everybody says they want a good amount, but they don't really know what the peak is. So we settle for enough. We don't go hard cause winning's too tough. Shortcuts cause the road is too long. You don't think you have enough. It's so beautiful, you gotta believe. Let me hear you say. Wish you could see what I see. You see amazing, but all you see is fraction faces and broken hearts. Fraction faces and broken hearts. Fraction faces and broken hearts.
Whew. Fractured faces, broken hearts. William Upshaw, let's talk really quickly about what this song means. And it's a tough one for me a little bit because I think it's not just about, this is more than just a song. So we're going to break down this whole song, verse by verse, because I think it's not only important for people to understand that we're all in this together and that there's people that have moments and times of low self-esteem, depression, in questioning whether or not they are enough. So tell us a little bit about where this song came from for you and why it's so important.
Well, again, it starts off when I was writing it again as a personal testimony. Like it's hard sometimes to see the good in life when you're so bombarded by life itself. You know what I mean? And there's been times where, I've had bouts literally with depression, seeing myself a certain way, and wanting the approval and validation of others, like constantly seeking that. Am I good enough? You know what I mean? And by default, we live in an age where social media is everything. We live in an age where, especially with social media, it's like no one ever shows their downsides. It's nothing but constant highlights, you know what I mean? And so when you're looking at that, you begin to compare yourself to it like by default, you know what I mean? And so when you don't reach those pinnacles of what you deem successful, you're down on yourself, you know what I mean? And you begin to find shortcuts to try to get to that life or try to get to being okay. And you end up further down a road, you know what I mean, that you don't want to be on, and it's easy to forget that you're an individual.
Right, absolutely.
Like, I'm myself. You are yourself. I can't do what you do. You can't do what I do. And that's what makes us unique. You know what I mean? And that first verse is about missing that uniqueness. Right. You know what I mean?
Not grabbing hold
of who you are. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So thank you. Now we're going to just play the second verse really quickly right now because we want to get further into that.
I need you to pick yourself up again. You're not shattered, you're not broken. You're worth so much more than you show. You're nothing, but not you. Don't be afraid to shine through. 'Cause we need you to be you. So we settle for enough. We don't go hard cause winning's too tough. Shortcuts cause the road is too long. You don't think you have enough. It's so beautiful, you gotta believe. Let me hear you say, wish you could see what I see. You'd see amazing.
Yeah.
You see amazing. And who is saying that right now too? If you don't hear it from someone else. Whew, so this second verse, It's about empowering. It's about uplifting ourselves and one another, and just letting people know that, you're not broken and you are enough. Let us know a little bit more on a personal note what that means for you and how this will be able to help others.
Well, again, when you go down, there's always an up too, and this one personally for me was about me not necessarily understanding myself, but understanding how God made me, which was different, which he made each one of us very, very different. No one thinks the same. No one acts the same. Your talent isn't my talent. Your gift to the world isn't my gift to the world. But we all have gifts. We all have talents, and they're meant to be unwrapped. And you can't do that if you're trying to unwrap someone else's gift, if you're trying to walk in someone else's gifts. And so again, this speaks to being uniquely how God made you. God says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. With that statement alone, it should just take over you and make you feel like, you know what, I am enough. And that's what this second verse is about. It's literally about getting past the fractured faces and the broken hearts and realizing that we can heal, realizing that we can mend. You know what I mean? And so that's what that verse is about.
Right, about becoming whole,
Absolutely, becoming whole again.
Yeah.
Therapy session.
Absolutely. So that's wonderful. And I know that, this song alone can be, music is therapy, like you say, and like we know, but this song here, I think, can touch so many, especially in our current time. So we thank you for this word.
Well, like the ending says, you are worth more than you show.
Yeah.
Shine bright. We need you to be you.
Yeah. Now more than ever.
Now more than ever.
All right. Well, thank you, William Upshaw,
Absolutely.
for this time. And we look forward to learning a little bit more with your next song.
Thank you. See you guys later.
Faces broken.